actually. I think we saw the film some weeks ago, so I know exactly how you're all feeling right now. Please, how did you approach the project? How did you approach the script? What's your process?
Well, I was remembering, when I read the script, I was remembering when I was 19. We still had the decision to make if we want to be soldiers or civil servants. So we either had to go to the military or we had to be civil servants. And if you decide to be a civil servant, you had to write a long letter for a commission. And you had to stand in front of them and explain them why you're not want to go to war or why you don't want to be a soldier. And when I was reading the script, I had the feeling that exactly this conflict that I had in that time when I wrote that letter, which was a very difficult letter for me because I had to, when I talked with my parents about it, with my father, who was born 1931, and so we had a long conversation about that. And in a way, when I was starting to write, sometimes, I was crying because I had the feeling, there was so much already happened with people that were not able to decide, or when they decided, like those boys, they were suddenly kept. And the motives in my music, I would say, was that the situation that you're still hoping to see the warmth of home and you're longing for, let's say you see a light on the horizon, even though the horror is already on the floor, but you still just see the light and you're like, this is where I want to go back home to. And the other motive was more the war machine that I felt when, and that was the first theme, it's a harmonium from my grandmother. And I wanted to use an instrument from that time. And so I was pressing the pumping pedals, which you hear sometimes, you hear like, that's the pedals from the harmonium. And I sent that theme to Edward, and then he wrote me back. You never know what you get back when you send something out. It can be like, oh man, go back home and try something else, which is the hardest thing, because then you have to invent yourself again, and sometimes you lose already your heart in the first try. And then it's very hard to go back and say, okay, my best thing that I gave you is not good enough. So I have to invent myself again. And when he wrote me back, he was very enthusiastic. All the ropes were cut.